More than a biblical gift, myrrh was a powerful ancient remedy. You've heard of myrrh before. It's one of the most famous biblical substances, mentioned alongside gold and frankincense, usually described as a gift, something symbolic, something valuable. But myrrh wasn't just a gift, it was medicine, one of the most effective natural remedies mentioned in the Bible, used for treating wounds, preventing infection, reducing pain, and even preserving the body. In the ancient world, value wasn't based on rarity alone, but on function, what something could do. And myrrh could do a lot. It was used on the skin, applied directly to injuries, mixed into oils, and even used in the preparation of the body after death. That's not symbolic, that's practical. A substance that can preserve tissue can also protect it. To understand why myrrh was used as a biblical remedy for wounds, you have to start with what it actually is. Myrrh isn't a plant you eat. It's a resin, a substance that comes from the bark of certain trees, specifically the coniferous species. When the tree is cut, it releases a thick aromatic sap that hardens into a resin. That resin is myrrh. Resins are protective by nature, produced by the tree to seal damage, prevent infection, and block bacteria and fungi from entering the wound. The tree uses myrrh to heal itself, and ancient people noticed that. When applied to human skin, myrrh behaves in a similar way. It creates a barrier, reduces exposure, and introduces compounds that actively fight microbes. This is exactly what you need when treating a wound. In the ancient world, cuts and injuries were dangerous. Even minor wounds could become infected and fatal. Myrrh could reduce infection risk naturally and consistently. Without complex preparation, it could be crushed, mixed with oil, or applied directly. Simple and effective. That's why it became one of the most important natural healing substances in biblical times. Not because of belief, but because of results. People saw wounds heal faster, saw fewer infections, and saw better outcomes. So they kept using it. Over time, that use became tradition, then meaning. But underneath it all, the function stayed the same. When you read about myrrh in the Bible, you're reading about something that worked. Once you understand what myrrh is, its use in the Bible makes more sense. Myrrh appears in multiple contexts, each pointing to function, not just symbolism. One well-known use is in anointing oil, mixed with other ingredients. Physically, this oil had real benefits. It protected, soothed, reduced irritation, and helped prevent infection due to its antibacterial properties. So, anointing wasn't just symbolic, it was protective. Another use was in preparing bodies after death. While seemingly ceremonial, there's a practical reason. Myrrh slows decomposition, reduces odor, and protects tissue. In this context, it acts as a natural preservative, aligning perfectly with its biological properties. Myrrh is also subtly associated with pain relief, sometimes mixed into drinks to dull sensation or reduce discomfort, suggesting analgesic support. Across these uses, a pattern forms: protection, preservation, and relief, all tied to the same substance. Every use aligns with what myrrh actually does. The Bible mentions myrrh not just because it was valuable, but because it was valuable for how it was used, solving real problems like injury, infection, decay, and pain, naturally and without complex tools. Modern studies confirm myrrh's active compounds support healing. Its most important effect is antibacterial activity, fighting harmful bacteria that can infect wounds and actively protecting them when applied to the skin. Add to that its anti-inflammatory properties, which regulate the body's response to injury, reduce swelling, soothe irritation, and create a better environment for recovery. Myrrh also plays a role in tissue repair, with compounds that support regeneration and help the body restore damaged skin more efficiently, leading to faster healing and better outcomes. It forms a light protective layer like a natural seal, reducing exposure to dirt, bacteria, and further damage. Combining these effects, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, protective, and healing support, creates a complete system addressing infection, pain, and delayed recovery. This is why myrrh became a powerful natural remedy for wounds in biblical times. Not because people believed it worked, but because it did. And thousands of years later, it still does. Ancient people observed its effectiveness, and results matter more than explanation. If myrrh were just symbolic, it wouldn't have been extremely valuable. It was considered one of the most important ancient healing substances in trade, transported across regions, and exchanged like currency. People valued myrrh because it worked. Anything that could treat wounds, prevent infection, and preserve the body was critical, not optional. Without reliable medicine, survival depended on effective remedies, and myrrh offered versatility: heal, protect, preserve. Accessibility also factored into its value. Myrrh doesn't grow everywhere and requires effort, time, and resources to transport, making it even more valuable. You're not just paying for the substance, but for access. This explains its appearance in significant biblical moments as a gift, offering, or something worthy of importance, but always with a practical reason. Giving someone myrrh meant giving them something useful that could protect their health, body, and life. This presents a different perspective. Instead of a symbolic item, myrrh was a form of ancient medicine. Portable, durable, effective, and essential. This explains its high status, not just spiritually, but practically. In a world where survival wasn't guaranteed, anything that improved your chances mattered, and myrrh did exactly that. If myrrh was effective then, why does it still matter today? The human body hasn't changed. Infection, inflammation, and the need to protect and repair tissue remain the same. What's changed is our approach, with reliance on modern medicine. However, there's growing interest in natural remedies that work, and myrrh is one of them. Its properties, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, and healing support, have not disappeared. Today, you'll find myrrh in natural ointments, herbal extracts, skin treatments, and traditional medicine practices worldwide, not as a replacement for modern care, but as a complementary tool. Myrrh isn't outdated, it's foundational. Part of a system long before modern science, now being rediscovered. What ancient people learned through observation, we're now confirming through research, creating a bridge between past and present, traditional knowledge, and modern understanding. So when you hear about myrrh in the Bible now, you can see it differently. Not just a gift or symbolism, but a solution, a practical tool used to solve real problems, one that still has value today. The same reason it was used thousands of years ago is the same reason it still matters now. It works.